Good evening, all. Let's talk about the last session. We talk about income from business and profession. So, what we'll do is we'll just revise it with two numericals, and after two numericals, we'll talk about capital gain. Uh, so, give me 2 minutes. I'm joined with the computer. Chital, कुकर लाव. The other device is taking a little more time, so kindly wait. I will start discussion about numerical part. I request host to allow me sharing. Dear students, I'm waiting for host to allow me for sharing. So give me 2 minutes. I'll call the concerned person. Now I'm sharing a Excel sheet so that we can revise income from business and profession. Now this is the numerical. The screen is visible to you all.
Yes,
I
sir.
guess yes. Yeah. So from the following, I have to calculate the income which is chargeable under business and profession. The givens are rent, office salary, donation, depreciation, income tax, patents, net profit, gross profit, business income, and income by lottery. The other information is given depreciation allowed 10,000, expenditure of 1,500 approved by income tax authority, not shown in profit and loss account. So when you see this type of numerical, first we have to find out business and non-business. Now, when I say non-business, the expenses, sorry, the expenses like income by lottery is not my business expenses. So this type of expenses are not allowed. Sorry, this type of income is not allowed. Similarly, donation is not my regular activity. So again, it is not allowed. Patent, I need to take consideration when it's available. Similarly, in case of depreciation, there is an adjustment. So we'll mark it. Now, if I want to find out the profit or loss for business and profession, so let's work out. I hope you are able to see this column. I'll just change the color for this column. Now, as per this numerical, my net profit is 57. Now, unfortunately, the Excel file hanged, so I'll wait for 2 minutes. Yes. So my net profit is 57. The first thing I will do, what is the income which is not allowed? Now, income from lottery is not my regular business activity. So what I'll do, from 57, I will reduce the income which is not allowed. So lottery, I'll not add as income. So my 57 minus 25, my answer will be 32 will be my income. Now 32, I got the income. I have to find out which expenses are not allowed. So income, if not allowed, I'm deducting from net profit. And expenses, if not allowed, I have to add back. So 32 plus 8, sorry, plus 8, because donation is not allowed. In case of depreciation, I'm charging 5,000, sorry, 5, but allow is 10,000. So in this case, if it is allowed up to 10,000 and I'm charging 5,000, whichever is lower, I can consider. So no change. But in case of expenditure 1,500 allowed by income tax, I am not added as expenditure. So I have to also minus 1.5. Then my correct profit will be 38,500. And this 38,500 will be gains and income from my business and profession. So what I done? I first find out income from lottery is not business income. So I deducted from 57 the 25,000. Then from that, donation is not regular expenses. So I reduce donations. The 1,500, which are approved expenditures, but I had not charged in profit and loss account. So I charge to profit and loss account. And then I calculated my net profit, which for income from business and profession is 3,800. So this is the illustration. 57,000 is my profit. Donation is not allowed. Depreciation not allowed. Income tax, it is assumed, but income tax should be allowed. And they adjusted the depreciation in two ways, 5,000 and 10,000. I just adjust one. So 49,500, because the value will change because they have adjusted depreciation twice. Either directly I can adjust 5,000 or give effect of 10,000. Now here, for patents, if acquired before 1st April 1998, it has to be written off in 14 years. So no depreciation for patents in current year is allowed. So this is the example of that particular year. Since I'm taking hypothetical example, this is an difference we are finding. Let's take another numerical. Now here again the similar numerical is available. If I want to calculate, now the question is calculate income and gains from business and profession. Again, I have to find out which is business and which is not business. Here, income tax is assumed to be business activity, whereas the charities 375, it is not business activity. Donation 400, it is not a business activity. Advertisement, yes, it is about business. Postage and telegram, yes, it is about business. Then if I received rent from house property, it is not my income from business. Similarly, if I received any dividend which is for other purpose than business, so this dividend again not my business income. In case of bad debts, if I recover 2000, it can be said as income subject to condition the bad debts are about business. So here we have find out 2600 and 500. These are not my business incomes. Whereas charity and donation again are not my business incomes. For income tax, I have made assumption that this is for business purpose, whereas for bad debts, based on my assumptions, I need to work out. So here I will adjust the profit and find out the profit which is taxable. So the profit as per profit and loss account is 1,32,850. Now, income tax they are assuming as a tax for non-business, so they are considering every time. So we'll assume the same only. Charity and donations, these expenses are not allowed because they are non-business. In case of income tax, those who feel that is of business, they can assume. So this 700 may be part of inadmissible or may not be part, depend on the assumption you make. If I assume it's a business, I will make that assumption. Then dividend from cooperative society and income from house property, they will be not allowed as incomes. Why? Because they are not part of regular activity. And hence, 1,32,850 minus 14,175, the income, the income I received is 1,34,325. But since the income of 3,100, it is not business income, it is non-business income. So I had to deduct it. So my profit for tax will be 1,31,225. So as per capital gain, my profitability is accounted for taxation and the correct profit is 3,31,225. Now take the last example, then we'll move for the next chapter. Let me reshare, there's some issue. I think the Excel is having some issue, so I'm not able to go with the next. Okay, let's come back to this chapter later on. I want to show some some of the old question papers. There is an issue for another window. So can the file of Excel got corrupted. So give me 2 minutes to recover it. We'll continue the session. So let's talk about the next example. I hope it's visible and it's working. Now in this numerical, they are given expenses and income. For any numerical on business and profession, what we first need to do, we first need to find out business or non-business, and then deduct and find out taxable income as income from business and profession. So let's start. Office salary, yes, it is allowed. Reserve for bad debts. Now, in accounts, this is shown as expenses, but actually, the any provisions these are not allowed in finance. So, as per this, reserve for doubtful debts is not allowed. If I'm paying interest on capital, it is not my regular activity. I borrow money, I pay it, but it may or may not be my regular activity. Similarly, a depreciation, I need to find out whether it's in permissible limit or not. Then, rent on building is not my business income. So again, this type of income is not allowed. So when I calculate reserve for doubtful, interest on capital, depreciation, and fire insurance, these all three terms are not being my regular activities of expenses. Now, please remember, insurance, why it's not regular? Because protecting my assets is not my business. My business may be something trading. But if I pay for the insurance or depreciation, it's the provisions I'm making against loss. So they are not allowed. In case of business profit, fire insurance is used for premises, hence added back to not profit. So now the last example, just read the example, then we can discuss. So here we got general expenses, bad debts, salary staff, salary to Mr. I, then interest on own capital, gross profit, bad debts earlier disallowed. Now we have to first find out salary to Mr. I. Now this is not allowed to take individual salary. Interest on overdraft I need to pay if my overdraft is not paid in time. Basically, overdraft is not required for any business. I should have cash or bank account. But if I take a overdraft, it's not a normal course. So even this interest will not be allowed as expenses. Interest paid on own capital, it's a expenses which is not directly linked with the business. So again, it's not allowed. Then if I receive commission, the commission may be allowed if it is about business income. But since getting commission is not my business, then this income is also not allowed. Then bad debts which are disallowed earlier, now if I recover, the working of same as an income is not allowed. So if I calculate, I find bad debts which are disallowed earlier as a business income, hence we are not allowing the same. So every numerical of income from business and profession, I need to find out allowed and disallowed and then adjust from its net profit. And whatever the profit I get that adjusted will be called as income from business and profession. Now, please remember, calculation of tax liability of business and profession is not part of our syllabus. And hence, for this concern, we need only to show computation of profit by this means only. But when you do an examination, for every allowed or disallowed, you need to give justification and solution. You need to show working note that okay, this is the reason why it is allowed, this is the reason why it's not allowed, and so on. Now, let me share with you the old question paper which I'm having. I hope the paper is visible to you. In 2013 pattern and in 2016 pattern, the direct tax was part of financial all these things and it was allowed as exemptions. So this was University of Pune paper for 50 marks. Normally the first question is theory part and it is on first unit, that is introduction to income tax. And the second will be salary income, third will be salary income. So salary and salary. Then they talk about capital gain, two numericals. Then they talk about business and profession. So let's solve question paper numericals orally, and then we can talk about how we can further proceed on. When I'm solving this orally, please be with me so that we can discuss two papers and it will give an idea how to solve numerical on business and profession. Now, Mr. Sham, I'll just try to zoom for your convenience. Mr. Sham is advocate. So he has a business of giving legal service to his clients. Following is his account on 31st March 2018. Now he is doing business of advocate. So whatever the expenses is allowed as an advocate, we will allow, but non-advocate expenses we will not allow. Gift from father. Now when father gives him gift, it can be father-in-law, or it can be real father. Both the cases, this cannot be income. Dividend, if I pay, is not my legal practice, so it is again not allowed. So income from profit of sale of investment. My profession is advocate, so this is not again allowed. Law consultancy fees 5 lakh. Now because I'm advocate, this is allowed, so it will be considered. Now coming to the expenses, office expenses, it is allowed. Employee salary, it is allowed. Now why it is allowed? Because salary is a part of my profession because I employed the people. Magazines, this will not be allowed. Why? Because it may assume by income tax that these magazines are not specific to my role of advocate. If I can justify 6,000 rupees are paid for magazines to understand the laws, then it can be accepted. But when I'm an advocate, in that case, the supplements or substitute publication by lawful authorities are used for updating knowledge. Magazines will serve as general purpose, and so it will not be allowed. Personal donation to National Defense Fund, sorry, personal expenses, this will not be allowed because when I calculate the business, it should not be person. Defense donation, it is allowed. Interest, now interest is paid for getting some things. It can be personal loan or business loan. Maximum time giving any additional income to the other party or receive income from other party is not allowed. So in this case, the interest will also not be allowed. Income tax paid by business will be considered as individual and hence this is not allowed as expenses. The car expenses, it is assumed up to level of business and individual. For example, it is said car is equally used for office and personal purpose. It means the amount of 20,000, only 50%, that is half, is office purpose. So half will be allowed and the half part which is for personal purpose will not be allowed. Then last, rupees 10,000, a domestic servant salary including employee salary. So I need to adjust this 50,000 for this amount of 10,000. I'll be only allowed 40,000 and 10,000 not allowed. So as per this paper, when I calculate income from business and profession, I have to consider what to be added, what not to be added. Now for law, in case when you're calculating income tax act, for MBA students, legality of sections is not important. It is expected that you should have justification which is the business income and which is non-business income, and that's it. So, anybody has any doubt how we solve this orally? Let's see. There might be one another example in the paper. Okay. We have another example. Following is profit and loss account of Mr. Pradeep for year ended 31st March 18. So we have Mr. Pradeep's account and year will be ended 31st March 2018. So we'll write in the books of Mr. Pradeep, calculation of income from business and profession for year ended on 31st March 2018. Now, as I said, we need to find out business and non-business. So Sunday receipts, not allowed, non-business. Gift from father, it's non-business, not allowed. Interest on bank deposit, it's not a business activity because my business activity is not to keep deposit. It is not allowed. Bad debts recovered, again, this is not allowed. So only income of gross profit, that is 2,23,000 will be allowed. Now, general expenses, it is allowed. Advertisement, it is allowed. Fire insurance is a provision that if fire broke, they will pay us. Otherwise, there is no use. So again, this 3,500 fire insurance will not be allowed. Office expenses, 4,500, it is allowed. Depreciation is a provision against loss. So again, depreciation is not allowed. The bonus which I pay is not a regular course. Normally, bonus is given as a incentives which is based on my choice. That I want to make people working with me happy, I provide them donation. Sorry, bonus. So it is not allowed. Income tax, it is considered to be paid for individual. So again, this is not allowed. Then interest on bank loan is not allowed because providing interest on bank loan is not my business activity. Interest on income tax. Now, this interest on income tax basically a fine or a penalty for me, which is again not a regular due income of my activity. It is not allowed. Donation to the education institute is not a business activity. So again, donation expenses are not allowed. Now let's see what are the adjustments. Salary includes 4,200 paid to Mr. Pradeep. So again, in case of salary, I need to find out the part of 4,200 and this personal salary will not be allowed. Advertisement include 550 for selling household furniture. So if I'm making advertisement to sell the household furniture, it means it is about individual because households means the personal sales that I want to sell the personal some assets which are part of my household. And if I pay advertisement charges out of my business income, it is not allowed. Then depreciation allowed as per Income Tax Act 14,000, where I'm charging depreciation 15,800. So the extra depreciation of 1,800 will not be allowed. Sales tax include 500 penalty for not filing return in time. Now filing return is my responsibility. If I do not file a return and I need to pay the charges, it is not allowed. And last, general expenses include 5,850 as a gift given to friend. So any gift given to friend will not be my business activity, and hence I need to adjust this also. Once I deduct not allowed expenses, sorry, not allowed income, and I add allowed expenses, not allowed expenses, then what I get net profit will be my income from business and profession. So till date, any doubt? Now let's talk about another paper. So this is 2016 pattern. Let's find out the numerical on business and profession. As I said, they normally follow the first question on definitions. So person, assessment year, previous year, SSE, and so on. The second question is always about salary part, and its option also normally salary. And third will be your business and profession or capital. So here they are given fourth question. So let's solve this fourth question. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Please just read this. Let's we solve this. Let's see what the adjustment given. Depreciation allowed by income tax was 18,000. So depreciation is allowed up to 18,000. Rent and taxes include 8,000 for residential base. So rent and taxes amounted 60,000. Out of 60,000, 8,000 is the personal. So these personal expenses of Mr. Abhinav, we need to adjust. So rent and taxes, the amount allowed as per tax will be 52,000. Advertisement, there is no adjustment. Reserve for future loss is 8,000. Since this is a provision, any provision made is not allowed for income tax. So this is not allowed. The depreciation as per income tax is 18,000. So again here the extra depreciation of 2,000 I am not allowed as expenses. And if I'm not allowed as expenses, I need to add back as income in my net profit. The legal expenses for income tax proceeding is not my regular activity. I may be charged for fine, I may be charged for a penalty, and I'm filing a case. But in this case, this is just an error made by my responsibility that I was not in time, I filed less or something. So considering the same, the legal charges are not my business expenses. Then bonus is not my regular activity, that it is my business to give anybody bonus. Contribution made to RPF is allowed in equal installments, whereas interest on capital is additional burden. This will not be allowed. Now, if I go to the income part, the commission received is not allowed since it's not a business income. And at title C, other receipts, it's not a business income. Income by fixed deposit or gift. So these all three incomes will not be allowed as income. Only gross profit is allowed as income. Anybody doubt in this? Anything I should repeat or re-explain? So let's go for next numerical. Following are receipts and payments of medical practitioner. So when it is given is a medical practitioner, we can understand what are the incomes and expenses which are business and non-business. Now first, interest on dividend is not my business expenses. Sale of old equipment is not business. Then staff salary, yes, it is allowed. Bill charges allowed. Medical books, it is allowed. Medicines, it is allowed. Motor car, if used for business purpose, it is allowed. But if I use for personal purpose, it is not allowed. Then staff welfare expenses, this is not allowed as per income tax because I am doing a medical business, and for medical business, doing welfare activity is additional burden. So it is not allowed. There's entertainment expenses, it is not allowed. Now I need to consider what are the adjustments so that additional expenses I can talk. First, depreciation is allowed up to 6,000, right? So the depreciation here, it is given no. Then one third of motor car expenses are related for personal use. So if the car expenses, as I said, one third is personal, that is 60,000 divided by one third, 20,000. So only allowed car expenses are 40,000, and 20,000, which is personal, will be charged as taxable. No exemptions is given for sale. Then the rate of depreciation on surgical equipment is 15%. Return on value of equipment is 23,000. Here I need to find out what is permitted depreciation limit. If it is more than limit, I need to adjust. But if it is less than limit, I can take it actual value which I charge in a balance sheet. So this is a business and profession of another paper. So we solved two papers, 2013 pattern and 2016 pattern. I explained the numericals of business and profession. Now 10 minutes to go. So if any doubt, please ask me. No doubts. So let me just show you. Okay. Uh, you want me to re-explain? So what I'll do is I will re-explain the last numerical. Since the screen size is short, I will first explain the steps. When you are solving business and profession, the first thing you need to find out what is allowed and what is not allowed. So take a pencil and mark it. For example, I take here a different color as a red. Staff salary, it is allowed, so I'm not marking anything. Clinic rent, I'm not marking because he is the doctor, it is allowed. But motor car expenses, there is an adjustment, so I make a round. Audit fee, it is allowed. In case of staff welfare expenses, this is not business because my business is giving medical services. So in this case, the staff welfare expenses I will not allow. So if earlier it is allowed, then I have to add this in net profit and my net profit will change. For example, here it is 1,91,000. So 1,91,000, I have to add 8,000. Then entertainment expenses 6,000. So again, the entertainment expenses is not business activity because I'm not here entertainer. I'm here doing business of medical practice. So again, 6,000 is not allowed. Surgical equipment, yes, it is allowed. Now coming to the sale of equipment, this is not part of business. Even though I'm selling the equipment, my business is to deliver medical practice. So if I received income by selling of an asset, I should not consider add business income. Now let's see for adjustment part. One third of motor is used for personal purpose. So value of motor car is 60,000. I used one third for personal. It means 60,000 into one third. So 20,000 is the amount which I use for personal purpose. So it is not allowed. Then rate of depreciation on surgical equipment is 15%. Then I have to charge 50% interest on returned on value of 23,000. And once I adjust in net profit, that is, whatever the income is not allowed, I have to deduct the income from net profit, and whatever the expenses are not allowed, I have to add that to net profit. तो उल्टा इफेक्ट मुझे देना है, जो इनकम है उससे माइनस करना है, जो एक्सपेंस है उसे मुझे ऐड करना है, एंड देन अल्टीमेटली व्हाट आई गेट इज taxable income from business and profession. I hope I'm able to clear. So when you're solving these numericals, first find out business and non-business, then find out permissible limits, and accordingly adjust your net profit given and find out the taxable income from business and profession. So if any doubt, again you can just post in chat box or let me know by unmute. So I guess there is no doubt. Now almost 5 minutes are left for our session. So I don't want to start capital gain. I just revise the thing and then we'll close the meeting 5 minutes early. Number one, when we are solving numerical on business and profession, first find out for which year you're doing calculation. Second, you need to find out what is type of business. Third, you need to find out what is business income and what is non-business income. You have to find out what is business expenditure and what is non-business expenditures. And accordingly, you have to deduct or add. Now, in case of depreciation or personal use, you need to find out the threshold limits. Whatever the expenses or income more than limit, it is not permitted. And in the last, whatever the adjustment after adjustment, the profit available, it is called as a taxable income for business and profession. Please mind it, for every adjustment you allow or disallow, you should have justification because that is the crux of the answer to consider whether business or not business. So that's all for today. If any doubt, please post in chat box or unmute. Otherwise, we'll close the meeting. Okay. I guess there's no doubt. So please join the next session and thank you for being patient.